Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? Hey, how you good you should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, I'll tell you. It is Tuesday, May the 5th be with you. And the second round of the NBA playoffs have started with kind of like a split bang. That was chaos today. So, yeah. I'm your host, James Clements, here at Larry Armour Studios, and basketball, give me the ball, cause I'm gonna dunk it, yeah! What a weird day that was. We had overlapping games for some unknown reason. Anyway, we got a record-setting Knicks-Sixers demolition. You had Wemby's block party, but the Wolves win it. It was nuts. And we've got a couple of new front offices for a couple of big-name teams. It's very interesting. I'll talk about that in a second. So just a short show today. We're just going to go through those games, give away some awards, and then set you up for tomorrow's other game ones, because I do love a good game one, the baby, which is always fun. So we'll do the game wraps. That's the night. Old mate, no mate, Spud of the night, better Lonzo ball, then pick and preview for tomorrow. So without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1397 of NBA Straya. Ha whiskey, let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better. Better watch out for the Wemby attack, obviously, if you're the Wolves. He had 1 million blocks. But you should also watch out for the Rudy Gobert and the Wolves defense attack if you're Wemby, because they got him. They bloody well went out and got him. That was pretty bloody good, wasn't it? Yeah. Not bad. What a game. Oh, man. That was a sick, weird day of basketball. So, let's do the daily. Oh, is it a whip around, Jim? Yes, it's always a whip around. It's been 1,397 episodes. How do you not understand it's a whip around? Jamal Mosley is out of here. That's right. The Orlando Magic fired their coach of 5 years. Told you. I mean, who could have seen this coming except for everybody? That's right. He had to be the one that cops it in the neck. The pure scapegoat. Mostly because he's gone to 3 straight playoffs. They have not gotten out of the first round. He's developed this team from, pretty bloody bad. They get Paolo, they get Franz, they make a couple of pretty bloody good moves here and there. But watching them is also akin to gouging out your eyes. And then playing basketball with them. It's just a fucking mess. So yes, he's gone. I think the weirdest part for me for this entire season was how shit their defense was, the Magic. And yes, the offense was super fucking clunky, even with Franz Wagner, hello, out there as well, next to Bada Vangara and Desmond Bain. But you feel like it should have looked good at points, and it just fucking never did. So yeah. Anyway, I do love that it was straight away as well. They're yeah, look, once we land, don't bother coming back to the office. It's just brutal. Anyway, so there's another opening. Obviously, Billy Donovan is one of the names already being floated around there for the Magic Men. You might remember him. He coached in OKC and Chicago, but also quite famously won a couple of NCAA titles there in Florida. So yes, conquering hero, kind of. Orlando's not where Florida. Anyway, still, that's kind of cool. See you, Mosley. We barely knew ye. Well, we did, and it wasn't great this year. Which is probably the weirdest part of it. I thought he did a pretty good bloody job up until... if you can hang your hat on one thing, it makes you very, very hard to fire as an NBA coach, right? It's but our defense is awesome. And you're you know what? He's right. If we just get another offensive sort of dude in here just to figure out this fucking shit, maybe we're good. And it just never happened. And then the defense fell off a cliff and it all went pear-shaped. So anyway, but speaking of weird coaches, JB Bickerstaff got an extension, which I love because that never works out badly. Oh, wow, gee willikers, we just won a playoff series. Let's give this man an extension 2 years later. It's like, oh, man, really wish we hadn't given him that extension. But I feel like Bickerstaff's been very good, which is, again, kind of odd because he has obviously been in a bunch of other situations, hasn't quite excelled. And this is like one of my long-standing NBA Straya go-tos. Rare is the coach who, in their third stint as a head coach, goes, oh, fuck, now I've got it. I've sorted this out. It's like a lot of the time you are who you are, but JB Bickerstaff has sort of, I don't know, he's got this right sort of weird mix of personnel where they can all play defense, and there's just like a bunch of fucking, like, culture's really easy to helm, to steer when you've got dudes who are bought in and predisposed to buy in. You got those dogs in you, you know what I'm saying? Versus, like, you know, trying to create a culture with like fucking Kyrie Irving and KD or some shit, right? Or James Harden in Houston, right? Like JB Bickerstaff, I'm looking at you. But it's just kind of working. So, look, that's fine. Like, let it roll for a couple of years. JB Bickerstaff, good on you. Other front office stuff. Geez, a lot of news today, Jim, there is. The Bulls have a new head fella. And so do the Dallas Mavericks. It's our old mate, Masai Ujiri. Hello there, Masai. So this is pretty big news because he's like, so the Mavs hire Masai Ujiri as president and alternate governor. Now, you might want to cast your minds back a few years ago when the Knicks were kicking the tires and going, fuck, can we poach Masai from Toronto? And Masai's like, yeah, I'll take a piece of the team. And James Dolan's like, well, that fucking, nope. So I guess crafting a deal that gets someone as ballyhooed as Masai Ujiri, wins the title with the Raptors, put together a very good Denver team over the years. He did have a very strange end to his Toronto tenure, though, right? Remember how they let him do the draft and then they shit-canned him? They went, that's who you draft? Fucking get out of here. But Masai Ujiri, excellent basketball brain thinker, team put togetherer. And this is a really, really important one for the Mavs because after this draft, where they have, I think the 8th best odds going into this lottery, they don't own control of their own pick until 2031, which could be seen as a bit of a big fucking problem when you've got Cooper Flag sitting right there and you gave away Anthony Davis for a bag of fucking chips because you're all run by idiots. Previously and now. But I do love the big Gerber baby Patrick Dumont with his big old dumb head. Was just like, yeah, we've done a big search. It's like they had like one big lunch and then they brought a couple of other dudes in. My absolute favorite part of the story is that Cuban was completely cut out of the entire process. Seriously, the articles go out of their way going, yeah, minority owner Mark Cuban wasn't involved in the process at all. And you're like, oh, that's amazing. What a fucking loser. Mark Cuban he undersells, what a brain genius he is, undersells his fucking Mavs at a shitty valuation before prices even skyrocket even fucking more. 3.5 bill. He cost himself probably another 3.5 bill because he's a fucking dummy. And he's like, hey, I'm still going to be running shit, not running shit. And now he's on the outer. He's not even been, basically they've put a dude in charge and he had absolutely no say. That's amazing. So yeah, Mark Cuban, what a fall from grace. Absolute fucking runaway winner for today's Old Mate, No Mates.
Old mate, no mate. Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
He's got absolutely zero mates now, Mark Cuban. And every time you see him, he's up there bitching and moaning about something else and how nothing's ever his fault. Anyway, come on the show, Mark. Have a chat. The other one is obviously, so look, the Mavs, I'll talk about this in tomorrow's Yeah Nars, but I do love it. I think Masai is like the way he put together those teams in Toronto. Yes, it all got a bit fucking away from him at the end. It always sort of does, but you win a title, fucking who cares? The Mavs sort of do need that bird's eye view to put everything around it and not just fucking scrambling and chasing their own ass like they've been doing ever since the Luka trade. And like the Anthony Davis, we just need to get him out of here for a fucking bag of chips was just, again, I get it, sunk cost, but Anthony Davis is probably actually worth a little bit more than you gave him up for, you fucking idiots. And then I think you'll see that for the Wizards this year. Like I've talked about AD, I think he'd be a very good fit on a bunch of different teams as long as he stays healthy. It's the Anthony Davis corollary. But Masai, I think, is the guy who can sort of zoom out and go, yeah, we'll fix a bit of this shit. And yeah, interested to know what that means for Jason Kidd. Anyway, Chicago was the other team that went, right, now we've actually got our fucking ducks in a row. We've got a new front office head honcho. And it's Bryson Graham. Now, a lot of the times, my first instance will be like, fuck nah. Mostly because I just don't like people with the name Bryson. Right? It's a really fucking stupid American name. American names are fucking hilarious. It's a lot of Cooper. Just all those fucked American names. But this is double poaching because he got poached last year by Onsi Salah, who runs the Atlanta Hawks, who took over the Hawks last year, turned them into a very, very good team in short order, and brought Bryson Graham over from New Orleans Pelicans, where he started as an intern and ended up as their GM there, which is, I don't know, I love that. It's a bit of that's what I did at Beat Magazine. Started as an intern, I ended up the editor. It was fucking awesome. But like, I don't know, when you do shit like that, you just understand how everything works for everything. And I think that's always a good fucking grounding for a dude like this. But he also drafted like Trey Murphy and like Herb Jones and Dyson Daniels and Nicky Alexander Walker. And like the weird thing about the Pelicans is I think they drafted very well over the years. It's just, like, apart from the Austin Rivers one, but it's just a weird one, right? They just sort of never could piece it all together into a cohesive sort of looking team. Anyway, he's only 39. I think it's pretty good. The Bulls, and then my favorite part about this, though, he is the guy who used to work at New Orleans, was at Atlanta, and was the bloke who put together the deal that fleeced the New Orleans and big old dumb Joe Dumas out of this year's first round pick. Because Joe Dumas is fucking as dumb as a bag of bricks. This is the guy who was like, I know that Joe Dumas is a fucking idiot, so let me just swan in there. They love me. I'll get a first-round pick out of this. Check, watch this. And he got it for that Derek Queen move. Amazing. So if you've got the bloke who actually understands that you can make trades and get a first-round pick in return, the Chicago Bulls fans will be fucking over the moon. Won't they? Won't they? Right, let's do some quick game wraps. Philly got absolutely obliterated by the New York Knickerbockers of New York City, 137-98.
Straight killed.
Geez, Jim, that's a lot. It really is.
Straight killed.
And this game was over halfway through the third quarter. And to be honest, it was over at the end of the second quarter, and mostly because Jalen Brunson went off his head in that first quarter. So you sort of follow this, you just unravel that a bit. You're like, fuck, there wasn't much going on there, was there, Jim? It's like, no, there really wasn't. It was like 33-25 after the first quarter, and they were like hitting shots right at the end. They go on this run. Halfway through the second quarter, they go on another run, and then like Brunson's 11-point binge right at the end. Like they're already up 10. Then I think they ripped off like an 8-0 stretch, and you're like, oh, this is going sideways. And then Brunson hits that three at the end of the half, puts them up 75-51. You're like, yep, nailed this pick. 74-51. Yeah, 74-51. Why do I have 75? Anyway, that is a bit of the old how you going. Right, this is the, I talked about it on yesterday's show. I talked about it on NBA Coffee Run this morning, the video where I'm walking back from dropping off the squids. I'm like, yo, this will be the emotional like expenditure of the Game 7 against Boston. Will absolutely bite them in the ass. And it's going to be tough to go into MSG and do it again, right? Get another win on the road. And they did it. They did. They went in there and they got their ass kicked. Like the emotional expenditure, they all looked fucking cooked. They looked nothing like the Game 7 team in Boston. So this was a whomping. It was like 90-60, like early in the third quarter. You're like, Jesus, the Knicks just keep doing this to teams. Are we just... Like, are they the greatest team in the history of anything ever? So, yeah, Paul George had 17. Embiid couldn't hit a shot. He kept grabbing at his knee. He did get Kat and Mitch Robinson into foul trouble early, but also they couldn't quite capitalize because they didn't hit any fucking shots. Maxey could not get going. And this is the thing. Because, I think you looked at this series and go, the reason this could be a long series is if Maxey just does a way better CJ McCollum impersonation. But the tricky part for the Sixers is they don't also have, the Nicky Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson sort of, oh, fuck, we can also go on a bit of a scoring binge here. Instead, it's VJ Edgecombe and Paul George, who's obviously at another sort of different point of his career, and he was probably their best player today. But when you've got Mikal Bridges, you've got OG, who was also fucking great again, by the way. Basically, you can key in on Maxey a little bit more because you don't have quite the sheer level of the three-headed perimeter monsters that Atlanta would have, and let CJ sort of get off the chain for at least a couple of the games last series. So for game one, they were able to contain Maxey. I don't know if that's going to happen again, but game two is probably my favorite game of this series because I 100% believe in the Sixers coming back to maybe even win game two. So, they shot 41%. They had 19 turnovers, and it was just getting embarrassing at one point where they just kept turning the ball over. You're like, oh, God. The Knicks, OG was really good, 18, but Brunson just went off his fucking head. He had 35 and 3, shot 12 of 18. He just couldn't miss. What did he have, 27 or whatever it was in the first half? Went absolutely bonkers. Let's check that because it was just absolutely gnarly. He ripped it off. He gave him the old 1-2 Costa Zoo. Brunson was just absolutely going off his bloody head. And I think the cool thing about this, they're the first team to ever win 3 straight NBA playoff games by at least 25 points, which is a bit. Is it, Jim? Yes. Yes, it is. The thing on top of that is just simply they're the first team to lead 3 straight playoff games by 30-plus points as well. The first team ever in the history of that is, it's a bit how you going, isn't it? So that's pretty funny. I'm just saying. And they've now won their last 4 games by a total of 135 points. Not bad. And yes, Brunson had 27 in the first half. That was a really, really good one. He was awesome. Cat ended up with a pretty solid, what did he score? 17, same as Mikal Bridges. 17, 6 and 6 for Cat. Just really super duper solid. And then it was all over by the third quarter. So they rested their guys again. But then the other really awesome game. Oh, Lord, this was fun. Minnesota go into San Antonio in that amazing looking arena with all the different colors. It's all popping off. I'm like, Jesus, I feel like I'm tripping balls here. And it was great. 104-102. The Wolves beat them. Oh, what the hell was that?
What was that? What the hell was that?
It was amazing. The Wolves being this fucking tough, being able to absolutely throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at Wemby, despite him having his absolutely massive block party, then being able to sort of ride out, not having any one player just go off their fucking rocker and just smoke him. It was just death by 1,000 cuts, and the Spurs defense almost didn't really know which one they should be sort of focusing on. The ball movement was pretty bloody good without anyone having a crap ton of assists, but Ant-Man would sort of go, he ends up with, so Ant-Man played, right? Questionable. He's sort of still limping around, grabbing his knee. Doesn't look great, but sure. 18 on 13 shots. He was fucking fantastic. He had that sick block late as well that you're like, oh, Jesus, I think he just saved the fucking game. Randall had 21 on 20 shots. Classic Julius. I'm going to take over the game, boys. And everyone's like, oh, here we go. 5 turnovers and 2 assists. But anyway, he was still very good. The last shot wasn't great, but anyway, 16 for Jaden McDaniels. He was electric. Every time he's got the ball, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. You can dunk on everybody, turn it over, make a sick pass, do something crazy. It's radical. 16 for Terrence Shannon Jr., who got the start again in place of Ant-Man. Very, very solid. Just causes a bit of havoc here and there. Naz Reid, 12 and 9, right? My absolute favorite, though, was Mike Conley. Minnesota Mike out there just dropping 4 threes out of fucking nowhere. They forgot about Mike, didn't they? And the Spurs, Champagne was awesome. He had the 17 for Castle, very solid. 18 for Dylan Harper, who was an absolute fucking weapon right there. 18, 4 and 4 for the rookie. God, he's good. He had 11 for Keldon Johnson, who's going back and forth, hitting some sick shots, doing some crazy shit, forcing turnovers, being just a mean bastard. But very fun. But then you had Wemby. He had a triple-double with blocks. But he was also shit, if that makes sense. It was weird. 40 minutes, 11 points. He was a +5 in the 40 minutes, right? So they got fucking smoked when he sat. But he shot 5 of 17. He had 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, and 12 blocks. Victor Wembanyama. It was chaos. Absolute chaos. And, they just 10 of 36 from 3. So it's 10 of 26, I think it was, for the Wolves. Just the Wolves almost cost themselves at this one as well, because Rudy Gobert couldn't buy a fucking free throw. He goes 1 of 5 in the end. And that one was actually pretty crucial that he hit. And that last one, it's like, Jesus, thank fuck. Kept their noses in front, and boom. They hold on to win the game, with Champagne missing basically the game winner that I 100% thought was going to hit. It didn't. And holy shit, man. The Wolves have suddenly come out of absolutely nowhere to win game 1 against the Spurs. Now, I predicted that they would get fucking smoked by the Spurs, and I was really fucking wrong. But the thing is, I said this the other day, the Wolves are just fucking, they'll drag this shit into the mud, and that's why I tipped them plus, it was like plus 13.5 yesterday, right? It ends up 10.5 this morning. And that's why I took the Wolves. I'm like, they'll just grit it up. They'll grind it up. They'll make it ugly. They'll fuck Wemby's shit up a bit. And it's exactly what happened. I didn't expect him to win the fucking game, though. So, yeah, that's awesome. Because now the West just got crazy mad. They lose Dante. Ant-Man's got one working leg. You've got Terrence Shannon Jr. starting. And the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the San Antonio Banderas Spurs despite those awesome colors, the radical fucking T-shirts for the crowd. I love that. It looked amazing. Talk about fiesta vibes. Isn't it like Cinco de Mayo as well today? Hell yeah. That's awesome. So great job by everybody, but especially the Wolves. Who was NBA Straya's approved performer of the night though, Jim?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Well, it was obviously Jalen Brunson, but Minnesota Mike has got to get a shout here, right? So Brunson was just 27 points in the first half, basically put it to bed. Like the game was just... Philly do have like that sort of sneaky, oh shit, they might get it, nah. And then just the Knicks defense and their offense just kept rolling like there was nothing there. It was crazy. But it was all because of Brunson. And as I said, he shot the absolute loving bejesus out of it. Crushed it. And that's kind of the tone setter. You need that from Brunson, right? 12 of 18 from the floor, 3 of 6 from 3, 8 of 8 at the line, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, a plus 27. He only played 35 minutes, 35 points, taking the piss. Minnesota Mike, though. Holy crap. 12 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, a plus minus of plus 13 for old man Mike. Went 4 of 7 from downtown. Honorable mention to Mike Conley. They don't win that game without him, and especially that massive last 3 that he hit. You're like, fucking Jesus. Mike Conley in 2026. What a world. Who was Spud of the night, though?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Well, Philly's defense, they shot, I think, the Sixers shot 22% worse than the Knicks. It's like 63 to 41% from the floor. But as I said, can I say Wemby? Can you give a bloke who had a triple-double with blocks the Spud of the night? Well, it's my show, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. 5 of 17 shooting. Looked completely off his feed. Rudy Gobert fucked his shit up, but also I just love the plan that they had. They're just like, all right, now we're going to go small. Randall's going to get into your shit, Wemby, and we're just going to push you off the spots where you want to be. Chris Finch coached his ass off. That was awesome. But other Spuds of the night, Fox went 5 of 14, and like that's, you meant to be, I guess, the veteran. Wemby doesn't have it going. Bring us home, De'Aaron Fox. That's what we're paying you for. And he went, all right, fellas, jump on. Oh, fuck. What did I just do then? He's like, turned it over. Yeah. Not great. Not great for Fox. 0 of 6 for Bones Highland as well. He's out there. He took so much shit after that Denver series. He's like, fuck yeah, man. they got rid of me. It's like, you asked for a trade, you fucking moron. He's like, yeah, now I'm back and I beat him. It's like, you beat him? And then he goes and shoots 0-6. Byron's Highland. What a fucking dummy. But that's not everything, because my absolute favourite part of all that Sixers-Knicks morass was the simple, sheer elegance in Joel Embiid shooting 3-11. Oh, yeah! Chill! That's right, Joel Embiid, welcome to the 3-11 club. That was awesome. Way to cover yourself in glory. Just as everyone's getting really, really excited to have you back, that was a bit of a stinker. 3-11 rule, you didn't, so there you go. Old mate no mates is obviously Mark Cuban. We could also throw Jamal Mosley in there as well. Still though, kind of, as I said going into this playoffs, there is no one who's ever been more pre-fired than Jamal Mosley than that. Pantsing of the night. We got a couple of the rare double pantsings as well today. We got Rudy Gobert up against Victor Wembanyama, the French blockade. You had a block, and a block, and then a layup. And you're like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? That was really cool. And I think, but Rudy overall pants Wemby, right? Wemby just 5 of 17 in the most high pressure NBA basketball game he's played to date at home. Like in front of the Admiral David Robinson, which has burned you up. You got to always rock up for the Admiral. And he throws out that. Rudy fucked him up. That's a full-blown pantsing. That's France on France pantsing. That's like World War II pantsing. Jesus. Tell you what. That's Vichy France, bish. Google it. And better than Lonzo Ball, Bronny James, Ben Simmons.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Tyler Kolek. That dude is fucking beloved in New York. They do absolutely love themselves. Scrappy white guy who comes off the bench, don't the Knicks? They love that. More than, like, what was it? Mindauskas. He was out there for a bit as well. Mindauskas Kuzminskas. They fucking love that dude as well, right? Tyler Kolek. Like, that's why Jeremy Lin became such a fucking thing. It's just like the scrappy dude who comes off the bench, does crazy shit. It's like why they live, what do they love? They love Mo Diawara. Is that their guy as well? Yeah, Mo Diawara. They love him. They love Jose Alvarado, obviously. But a Puerto Rican carving it up in New York, you'd never read about that. God, I hope he's Puerto Rican. Jesus. I better check that before I get myself in trouble with me. Figure this one out, Jim. Oh, what was he? Jose Alvarado. There you go. Yeah, Puerto Rico. Yes, nailed it. I knew that. See, I should never doubt myself. Never doubt yourself, kids. Tyler Kolek today had 8 points, 4 assists, 3 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 2 from 3, and the place fucking erupted every time he did anything. So he did it in 10 minutes as well. He was a +8. So great job, Tyler Kolek. All right, how about some game previews for tomorrow? Game previews. Thanks to Divert and Bain. Not a problem, Jim. You're not going to do an Aussie player watch? Nah, Jingles didn't get out there, and that was it today. So, because we've only got Jingles and we've only got Tyrese Proctor. So, yeah. Not too many big impact Aussies, I reckon, in these playoffs. Anyway, Jingles back to Melbourne United, the rumours are, and that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, was that Olgs pointing that out this week? That'd be fun. Anyway, tomorrow's games. Hey, we've gone, I think, since Saturday. Is it 7 of 8? That sounds right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. It's Tuesday. Yeah, we've gone 7 of 8. We've nailed both the picks today, so that's good. So tomorrow's games, however, are very, 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 very fun. And I think a little bit tougher to pick. Cleveland at Detroit. Cleveland! And then Lakers OKC. Cleveland at Detroit, 100% all depends on how you feel like Detroit sort of bounced back from the 7-game series, how Cleveland get themselves back from their 7-game series on the road now in Detroit. A very different vibe to what they just got from Toronto and all those giant wings of theirs. And Detroit sort of going, right, well, we've got Cade, we've got Orsar, we've got a lot of size to throw on Donnie Mitchell and James Harden. That's probably going to do us pretty well. But then they've got a Mobley, they've got an Allen, we've only got a Jalen Duren and a Tobias Harris, and he's like, hello. It's like, ooh. But I kind of trust Detroit, and I think I talked about this in the playoff preview yesterday. I kind of trust Detroit's defense a little bit more than kind of anything else to do with Cleveland, especially at home for a game one. And it could be a really, really close one because I think Cleveland's defense is all right too. And if you can sort of slow down Cade, we've seen the Orlando Magic do it. I might take the Cavs plus 3.5 because it does sort of feel like this is going to be 100% the feel-out game of like, oh, fuck, right, what do we do? And when you've got someone like Donnie Mitchell who can go absolutely en fuego, and you've got a couple of bigs to make that Detroit defense really think about what the fuck the big dudes are doing, which is something Toronto definitely couldn't do. It might be a little bit easier for Detroit to deal with. It might be harder, and I've got to go probably with harder. I'm going to take the plus 3.5 because I still think Detroit could win, but I feel like if they do win, it's going to be really fucking close. So I'm going to go Cleveland plus 3.5 in that one. And then OKC, Lakers in OKC. The line is 15.5, which I think is one of the biggest lines you've ever seen in a playoff game. This is, it's pretty chaotic. And I want to be sort of mindful of not falling into the same trap we just did with like Minnesota versus a San Antonio team that's very young and inexperienced, especially when it comes to the playoffs. But OKC isn't young and inexperienced. They're the reigning champions. I think they're going to fucking wax the Lakers. So I think what we might get is very similar to what we saw today, where one might be a bit of a blowout and OKC kick the living shit out of the Lakers. And the other one is where Cleveland and Detroit have a bit of a fucking crazy rock fight that ends up in like chaos at the end. Old mate, no mates could have been Champagne as well, but I don't like, blaming folks for missing, attempted game winners. He fucking tried. He was their best three-point shooter on the night. The big problem I fucking got is that for some fucking reason, these two games overlap again. We've only got 2 games. How hard is it to go, right? Well, fucking OKC, you're starting a little bit later. So we start 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. for these 2 games. We're the same as today, where it was like 10 and 11:30. You're like, what the fuck? Like, it's fine for me because I've got one on the telly, one on the iPad, and because you've got your Disney Plus, I think they had both games on there as well, and I just had League Pass in the other one. So, bit of chaos, but we managed. So, but come on, figure this the fuck out, NBA. What are you doing? Conflicting games. But I think for the rest of the week, we're all good, but still. So there you go. We're going to take Cleveland plus 3.5 and OKC minus 15.5 tomorrow, and the picks will be up on Dabble as well, as per usual. You can find the link for that. Follow along, check it all out. And what is it? In the show description and the social bios. But that's it for today. As I said, a quick one. We'll do a bigger show tomorrow. But yeah, lots going on. So yeah, send through your nahs. I want to talk about the Bulls and Mavs front office stuff a little bit more and how they might approach team building around who they've already got and what they might do. So it should be a fun show tomorrow. So bang us through some nahs about whatever else. And those games will be very interesting as well. So remember, you can follow us on Twitter, Facey, IG, YouTube, TikTok, etc. You'll see NBA Coffee Run every morning if you do that, which is very fun. I've got a Keep Cup, and I'm just going to fucking put an NBA Straya sticker on it. I'm just so fucking forgetful. Anyway, get around Footy Unfiltrated, taping the Round 8 wrap-up, Round 9 preview show today with Jez. NFL Australia, myself and Gaz, we went to the awesome thing on Friday night. That was fun as hell. And obviously, Jim does Supercoach. As I said yesterday, a bit of a meh kind of week in Supercoach for me. We'll wrap it all up for you at some point this week too. So go get around all those shows. And you can also buy me a coffee. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Help support the show. Basically become one of our Patreons, right? That gets you exclusive shows once every month. We've got an exclusive show. It's very fun. I love doing it. So go sign up. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Straya. Keep the lights on here. Keep the pirate ship afloat. Appreciate your guts if you've already done it. Big thanks always go to From Mosley for the intro and outro song. Same to House Hats, Joshua Del Rentis, Fascinated Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, who are playing Scarfighter 2, which is a big show this Saturday night at the Bendigo Hotel in Collingwood. I'll be there beforehand and then after Deftones. So I'm going to be at Deftones in the middle. So go along if you like the Porkers, Ramshackle Army, a bunch of other Kitty Hawks. Awesome. Iowa Section, Green, and Dozers. They're the other bands behind the tunes that you might hear. Smash them all on your music streaming platform of choice. And that's it. I'll get out of your hair, and we'll catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would you? And hug your mates. Later, Hosen.